Good morning, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to give you a little bit of food for thought in light of the current situation that we all find ourselves in. As most of you know, my mother has metastatic breast cancer, and I'm her full-time caretaker. And we had thought that by adding me onto her HIPAA forms, that I would be able to discuss things with her doctor and step in if she becomes ill enough that she's not up for making decisions. We had also a couple years ago signed a power of attorney naming me as her agent, again thinking that this would cover situations that could arise, if there was a medical need. So yesterday we met with an attorney and provided the documents that we had previously signed and discussed all of these. And the attorney advised us that the laws had just recently changed in the last 2 years, and that the HIPAA forms that we signed, as well as the power of attorney, were basically not valid and would not allow me to step in if it really came down to it. Basically, with the HIPAA laws that are in place, it takes away any access. Literally, they can keep any information from your family members if a situation comes up. If they give you any information, it is simply that they are doing it as a courtesy. But if push comes to shove, they can withhold the information legally. All that I legally had a right to were medical records, and then I would have to request them. We were also told that the doctor could make decisions on her behalf, even against her own directives. Now, I had a conversation with my neighbor a couple months ago. He had not been feeling very well and just kind of came on him suddenly, and they ended up going to the ER because he thought maybe he was having a heart attack or something. And so in the course of trying to discover what was causing his issue, they went ahead and gave him the let's say the the world's cure. So since he was in a weakened state, he was trusting that the doctors were acting in his best interest. He wasn't quite aware to be questioning all that was happening to him. And so they told him after the fact, months after the fact. And when he told me the story, I didn't think too much about it, at the time, but after my conversation with the attorney, it really made me think. And so then I just wanted to come on and maybe give you some perspective on this, because I think as we go forward, we could all potentially be faced with these kind of things. And I just want to give you some information so that you're prepared and not stuck in a bad situation. So what really this could mean for us, or let's say, your spouse, or even if you have an elderly parent, if they go to the hospital for an illness, it could be taken advantage of in a weakened state. A state of illness is not a time to be making decisions. You don't make the best decisions when you don't feel good. You just want to feel better, right? The decisions need to be made prior to issues coming up like this. There are directives that my mom has expressed that she does not wish to partake in. But legally, there was nothing to stop the medical professionals from doing these things against her desires. If we get into a situation, where she's hospitalized, or if skilled nursing comes in, and has to start taking over more of her care or things of that nature. There have been several things that have come up in the situation with my mom where the doctors have pointed to, you know, the virus, and they want to act on those protocols rather than investigate the true cause of the issue. Now, I understand why they would want to do this, but that's not a road we want to go down. She wants to be in control of what goes into her body. And although she has clearly stated multiple times to this doctor what she does and does not want, he has continued to push her. And she almost consented to something because of this persuasion until I had a chance to go look up what that information actually meant and then explain it to her. I'm not attempting to cast blame here onto medical professionals, so please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here, because I don't think every medical professional is out there to get people, but they're acting in what they believe is to be the best course of action, and that's neither here nor there. I'm just trying to give the perspective on the precarious nature of that system at this point, and you don't know what that person's motivations are at this point. For myself, I would be absolutely against antivirals for the same reasons that I would be adamantly against the world solution at this point. If you don't know why, I would highly recommend that you go do some homework, because there are a host of prescriptions out there that are made exactly the same way as the current situation or solution, excuse me. And I would not want a medical professional deciding what's best for me when I'm in a weakened state. Absolutely not in this current environment. And I don't think many of you would either. So we had an attorney draft a medical power of attorney, which clearly states her desires. And if, she gets to the point where she's uncomfortable making decisions or unable to make decisions on her own, that I, as her agent, am authorized to make these decisions on her behalf, as she's already made known to me what her desires are, and it's not left to the doctor's discretion. So I share this with you because I know many of you feel the same way. You want to be in control of what goes into your body, what treatments that you have. You don't want it to be left to chance, and just wanted to give you some perspective on what you could possibly be facing if something does come up. So making these decisions now could ensure that your wishes are followed. So I just would ask you to take this to the Lord in prayer and consider this information and see what you would need to be, what you may need to do in your situation. As I said, we were informed that the laws had recently been changed. So, you may have you may already have a legal document drawn up. You may already have a will, living will, power of attorney, all of these things, but maybe now is the time to go ahead and take those back to the attorney and say, have laws changed in the last couple years? Do we need to make any updates? Just checking in with them, just to make sure that you're covered in any eventuality. I would just hate for people to be put in a situation where you're in the hospital and all of a sudden things are just out of your control. So I hope that you have a blessed day. Thank you.